All right, everybody, we are live. Going to give everybody a second to get in here. Tariffs, turbulence, and trading, how to navigate a volatile market. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. The stock market last week had the third biggest day up ever. Well, actually, since World War II. Okay, almost ever. Third biggest day up since World War II. So things are moving. We're going to talk about that today. Hello to everybody who's coming in right now. Glad to have you guys. I'm going to get on over to the comments. If you're coming in the room right now, I am Blair Nightingale. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Some of you guys know me from Tradeway. Some of you, maybe this is your first time. You've never been on with us before. We're going to help you understand how do traders view this market, because it's interesting. They don't look at it the way most people, and certainly not the media, looks at the stock market. Okay. I'll give you a hint. Most people see anxiety. That's what they feel. Traders see opportunity. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let us know in the comments where you're from. If you're joining us tonight live, then we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and drop that in the comment box there, and I'll give you a shout out here. Good to have you guys. You can pop some questions in there. If you have it as we're going along, I will be putting up some stock charts. I don't have it up on your screen right now, but we're going to be looking at some stock charts. I'm going to break down some things for you tonight. I mentioned just a moment ago, anxiety to opportunity. This isn't just a catchphrase, okay? If we don't know what's happening in the stock market, really the only thing we hope for is that it just keeps going up. We like it when the media just says, stock market went up today. We like it when there's a politician on the platform going, I'm going to make the stock market go up every day, forever. And there's nothing wrong with that happening, but it is a fallacy. It is a lie that people can cause the stock market to go up all the time. That is not reality. Traders understand this, but even more importantly, they know what to do about it. The question is, do you know what to do about it? When the market is volatile like it is, huge days up, huge days down, there are two camps. There are buy and holders, okay? That's a long-term position in the stock market. Your 401ks, your IRAs, right? Your Roth IRAs. There's many different retirement account vehicles. Wall Street just says, set it and forget it. But I'm going to give you a little tip here, okay? They tell you and me to just hold on for the ride. But what do? Pop quiz. What do? Do they just hold it? Well, that's what they told you to do. Well, yeah, sure they hold it. I would say, no, they don't. Well, Blair, how do you know that? Because the market is moving down. In fact, it's tanking. If it's tanking, it's because Wall Street is selling. So they're selling, but what are they telling you and me to do? Wall Street's telling you and me to hold on. Can't time the market, they say. It's a long-term game, they say. Trust the professionals, they say. Just wait it out. It'll come back, they say. Oh, it'll come back. But maybe it'll take 6 years, 7 years, 14 years of lost opportunity. You might be closer to retirement age and you don't have that kind of time. How much are we going to lose? 20, 30, 40%? You know, if you have $10 and you lose 5, you've lost 50%. What percentage do you need to make back? Many people say to me, well, 50%, Blair. I lost 50. I need to make 50. No, you only have $5 left. You need to make back 100% to get back to where you were. So Wall Street says, wait till the bottom. But then they don't do that. Why? Because they know things that amateurs don't know. But you can know. It's just that nobody's ever told you before. Because why? Because we're listening to Wall Street. You think Wall Street is out for the little guy. By the way, if we're not trading millions and billions of dollars, officially we're the little guy. Okay. So it's not a derogatory term. It's just a reality on Wall Street when we're talking about the size of money that's being moved around. Okay. So Wall Street sells, but they tell you and me to hold on into the bottom. They still collect their fees no matter what. If they don't win, they still collect their fees. This is Wall Street, everybody. Well, yeah, but Blair, they're the licensed ones. Yeah, I have a securities license. Guess what? They didn't teach me to trade. Hey, and I'm not triggered. I'm not mad. But it's not right, is it? That can't be the best way to do this. So we listen to the media and they say, well, the stock market's moving down. Tariffs, we're going to talk about that. Turbulence, we're going to talk about that. Trading, we're going to talk about that. It's moving down. Oh, that stinks. I don't want it to go down. I want it to go up. And my guy or my girl, gal, by the way, I'm not out against financial advisors at all. There's people who do a great job. I'm simply saying Wall Street as a whole, okay? I've traveled over 26 US cities and taught thousands of people how to trade. Very rarely have I talked to anybody who said, yep, my advisor told me what to do when it was crashing, gave me a phone call, gave me a comprehensive plan, told me about retirement insurance. Yep, that's what they did. They called me up and said, well, Blair, we can get you some insurance. I've asked a lot of people. I ask them about retirement insurance, and they look at me like I'm from another planet. Because surely if retirement insurance is real, somebody would have told me about it. I know people that lost 40+% of their life savings, of their retirement in 2008. And you're telling me there's such a thing as retirement insurance? Nah. I don't even trust this guy because if it was real, I would have heard of it by now. I've heard that. Now, you may not be thinking that, but I've heard people say that before. Okay. Judy's dropping in the comments. Houston fan here. Thanks for commenting, Judy, coming at us from Houston, Texas. So, what's going on in the market? Well, first of all, listening to Wall Street isn't helping us. We need to understand that things go up and things go down. And when they go down, what do traders do? Now, I mentioned it moves from anxiety to opportunity. See, when we don't know what to do, amateurs think, I got to know what the market's going to do if I want to use the stock market. The stock market's very powerful. Don't believe the media. Here's the first thing I'm going to tell you guys. Don't believe the media when they tell you billions of dollars of wealth was destroyed today. There is some truth to that in the sense that maybe money that was in this account is not in that account anymore. But guess what? It's in a different account. It just moves. The money is just moving. Okay? And what you and I are watching in the stock market is billions and billions of dollars. That's why they call it finance. Billions of dollars move from one place to the other. Now you think, if I'm going to do anything with the stock market, I need a securities license. I need a business degree. I need a finance degree. I need an internship with Goldman Sachs or whatever Wall Street bank, or I got to be good at math. None of those things are true in 2025. What traders have is a learnable step-by-step system for managing risk. And in 2025, with an internet connection and a laptop and the kinds of tools we have online now, we can learn step-by-step what to do. So let's talk about some of these things. First of all, tariffs. Are the tariffs good or are the tariffs bad? I'm going to give you tonight the trader perspective. The trader perspective, okay? Because there's a debate, depending on what side of the aisle you're on tonight. They're bad. No, they're good. This is going to ruin us. This is going to be part of our salvation. Now, I have my own political opinions, but I'll tell you what traders think. Remember, traders' perspective. Tonight, what I want to accomplish for you guys is tariffs, turbulence, and trading. There are tariffs, and whether we like them or not, whether we agree with them or not, they are moving the market. Billions of dollars is changing hands right now. And my question is, do you have any idea how to protect yourself? Do you have any idea how to safely take some of the money out of the middle? I always say this, Wall Street's moving money from one side of the room to the other, and traders just come in and take a little bit as it's moving across the room. That's what they do. You say, well, Blair, they're probably just gambling. Traders don't gamble. Now, people can open a brokerage account and gamble if they want, but they don't have a step-by-step system. Tell you what, if somebody goes into a casino and counts cards at the blackjack table, okay, I don't play blackjack. That's truth. I don't. I'm not a casino guy. But if I go in and I count cards at the blackjack table, what are they going to do? They're going to kick me out. They're going to kick me out. Why? Because I have an advantage. Well, they don't like that. Why? Because they have the advantage. Is their advantage real? All right. Is the casino's advantage real? It sure is. It sure is. They've built castles in the desert on that advantage. Right? So it's real. And if a trader or an advantaged player comes in the room and takes away that edge, they will kindly, maybe not so kindly, ask them to leave. What am I trying to say right now? What does this have to do with the markets? Traders aren't guessing. They're not gambling. They're not just going for it. Maybe you had a friend or an uncle or a family member who did just that. Don't let Wall Street scare you with phony statistics. Phony in the sense that we need to look at what do people with a real skill set do in the stock market. And if you learned that skill set, how would you see the market? What if you don't know what you don't know? Hey, I was a guy, 2015. I didn't know what I didn't know. I met a trader. I just met a trader. I'd never met a trader before. And they showed me things that I didn't know I didn't know. See, I thought trading was something that it even wasn't. See, I didn't even really know what it was. So I said no to a thing that doesn't even exist. And once I learned what it actually is, I thought, now hold on a second. Nobody's ever told me that before. So when we're looking at tariffs, I can tell you that the general public is looking at the tariffs probably more through the lens of their political perspective. And that's okay. We all do that. I do that to a degree. But traders are looking at it through a skill set. And you know what they see with a skill set? Meaning they have a step-by-step system on what to do. They don't need to know what the market's going to do because they know what they are going to do. They don't see anxiety. They see opportunity. Why? Because there's so much money moving from one end of the room to the other, and the news is saying it's all being lost. But we know it's not being lost. It's being moved. And because so much of it is being moved, this is amazing. And they can trade the markets up and down and sideways. It doesn't have to go up. You know, walking through the airport, seeing it on the monitors, oh, the market's down. Oh, the market's up. Oh, the market's down. It's this emotional roller coaster because we feel powerless. Traders don't feel that way, right? Now, maybe you've never seen yourself as a trader. Well, you don't have to say today, I'm a trader. But what if you learned a couple of the things that traders know that you've never been told before? What if that just made you feel that much more confident about what's happening? What if you started to shift from anxiety to opportunity just because you learned a couple of the foundational things that traders know that nobody's ever told us, that nobody had ever told me? until I met a trader. Okay. In California in 2014, I met a trader. Tonight, you're with me here today. Maybe you've never met a trader before. Well, hi, my name's Blair Nightingale. You've met a trader now. And I want to show you some things maybe nobody's ever showed you before. Maybe you've tried trading, but you didn't try it with these foundational things. And you maybe didn't like the results you got, or you'd like to up your results. And these things can help you too. Okay. So what I want to help you see is the markets are dropping. And that means opportunity. Markets tend to take the stairs up and the elevator down. That fear that takes over is more powerful, right, than the greed that drives the market higher. You say, Blair, I don't want anything to do with fear and greed. Excellent. Great answer. Because traders know how to manage that too, right? Traders know how to manage that. So I want to go over and I want to actually look at the stock market. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about tariffs. Now, I'm not going to explain necessarily all the ins and outs of tariffs, but I will tell you this, okay? The tariffs as they are right now, it's yet to be seen whether or not by the president that this is mostly a tactic for leverage, the art of the deal. It is Donald Trump after all, the art of the deal. Tariffs say, hey, we have the economic supremacy right now. We're going to leverage these tariffs, bring them to the table. Donald Trump has a way of, maybe if he has a deal that's a 5 out of 10, I don't mean 5 out of 10 in quality, but maybe in intensity, he'll propose something that's a 50, shock everybody. And then his real proposal looks extremely tame compared to what he had shocked everybody with. It's possible that that's what we're dealing with here in the tariffs. It's also possible that we're going to keep these tariffs on for a long time. Now, that's two scenarios. The first scenario is if we bring people to the table and we cut deals, we can see this market head right back up very quickly. Things could turn around very quickly. The question is, are we ready for that recovery? Do we understand what traders are going to be doing to recognize that and take advantage of it? Now, the other side of that is that this takes longer than anybody thought. We don't know how long it's going to take. We know the president has some backbone for sure. He can certainly endure, and he's been willing to go this far. If things continue to drop, do we know how to protect what we already have? Do we know how, when that money's moving from one side of the room to the other, do we know how to go in there and safely just try to take a little out of the middle? Take a little out of the middle. That's what traders do. They protect what they have, and then they promote what they have. Okay? So this whole tariff situation is opportunity because of how much things are moving. Things won't stay this volatile forever. And when they calm down, there's opportunity there as well. Now, if these tariffs stay the way they are long term, okay, then there is certainly a much higher probability that we have a recession, okay? And we may, okay, I know this isn't the president's immediate goal, and I tend to lean in opinion towards it being more of a bargaining tool, but if they stay in place, it certainly can create a deep, deep recession. Now, at Tradeway, we don't predict. Remember I said earlier, if we know what to do, if we know what traders do, then we don't have to guess the future, which, by the way, is impossible. So if you're thinking trading is guessing the future, then I'm setting you free from that mindset tonight. You don't have to know how to guess the future. That's not what traders do. Okay? And that's a good thing. But we could have a very deep recession. Now, we're certainly already seeing the stock market has dropped 20%. 20%. Okay. Talked to somebody a couple of weeks ago, said, I've already lost $100,000 of my retirement account. $100,000. Okay. Some have lost less. Many have lost more. Do we go down further from here? Don't know. Could. No reason why not. If we do continue, Do we know what to do? So there can be political debate here, and there's room for that. But what I want to help you see tonight is the way traders are thinking about this is going, oh, this is a really good time to prepare myself for what's happening. Because sometimes people say, Blair, the stock market right now is absolutely crazy. I don't want to learn the stock market right now. Well, first of all, statistically, more than half of Americans are already in the stock market, even if they're not actively trading. They have money tied to the stock market. Okay, so there's that. But we're also looking at tremendous opportunity. You know, it's easy to look back at COVID and go, oh man, I wish I had known what was going on there. Right? I wish I had known how to navigate that, because it's not only on the way down that there was opportunity, is on the way up. They also pumped a lot of money into the market, which is why we got terrible inflation. So there was a V recovery. It went down and straight up. Well, the reason it went straight up, it's like caffeine. You just pump it into the body and whoa, it stimulates, it wakes you up. Well, they did that with money. Unfortunately, when you do that, too much coffee even, what do? You crash. So you can't do that forever. That's not a long-term monetary policy, but certainly we've had some politicians who seem to think it is. Tanya says this, great question. Why didn't they just take the money out and put it into a cash account? Well, a couple of things. Number one, if we don't understand how to look at a stock and decide buy and sell points, not crystal ball, but decide buy and sell points, then we're not going to know when to do that. If we don't understand these foundational things, by the way, there's 4 foundational skills that a trader has. If we don't understand those foundational things, then we wouldn't know when to do that. And probably we wouldn't have the confidence to do so, especially if we've been taught to just rely on Wall Street. But anytime we do anything, guys, listen, I've learned how to do so many things in life that at one point I had no idea how to do. No idea how to do it. And I learned. It's common to think, well, learning the stock market is not normal. And that may be somewhat true. It's less true in 2025. There's a lot more people learning to trade in the stock market than ever before. Okay. We have tens of thousands of active students. We've been around since 2009. But culturally speaking, a lot of people are still trusting Wall Street. Oh, they're the professionals. They're the ones. So Tanya, it's a great question. People aren't looking at doing anything proactive with their own money because they've been taught that we shouldn't do that. Not just that we couldn't, but that we shouldn't. And I'm saying what we should do, my opinion, my contribution is to say we should learn as much as we can, as fast as we can, about how to take care of our money, because nobody cares about our money. My money more than me, your money more than you. Doesn't mean you love money, right? It's not about the love of money, but you want to be a steward over that money. Yes. Well, how can we do that if we just trust somebody else to do it? Somebody who, by the way, gets paid for it by taking risk on your money, and they get paid no matter what they do, whether they do well or not. And I would just say, I can't go into this tonight. They pay you a small fee. Ooh, small fee, 2% a year. You'd be shocked to see what 2% a year takes from your returns over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years. Shocking. You don't believe me? Pull out a compound calculator and find out what 2% does over 10, 20, 30, 50 years. Okay. That said, tariffs. Trader says, it's money moving around. Let's go ahead and show you some of this money moving around. I'm going to do this here. All right. You're seeing the infinite window. All right, everybody. Welcome into the room. Everybody, I'm Blair Nightingale. I saw some new people joining in there. Tariffs, turbulence, trading. What do you do? I want to show you the S&P. Now, you maybe have never seen a stock chart before. You maybe have. But here's all I want you to know. Here's the high, where we were, and we dropped. This is more than 20% down here at the bottom. The market is tanking. Is it going to recover from here? Well, what if I said, I don't know? Well, Blair, you're the coach. What do you mean you don't know? If you ever talk to somebody who wants to share about stock trading with you, how people make real money in the stock market, which is an extremely powerful financial tool, and they tell you that they know the future, I would say time to go the other way. Because there's no way they do that. And traders don't really do that. They don't claim, and they don't need to claim they do that. So here's what I would say. It may go up. And if it does, it could be huge. Really huge. Look at this day here. This is the day. That's 10% in one day, guys. The stock market moved up. In one day. Most people are happy if they make 7% in a year. Okay? So if it goes up, it could be awesome. So we want to be ready for that. That's a trader perspective. If the market goes back down to the lows, meaning back down to the lowest point it was a couple of weeks ago, that's a big move too. Traders are ready for that too. If the tariffs stick around, there's going to be downward pressure. If suddenly they're taken off, up it goes. And I keep saying this, I know, but the question is, are we ready for that? And if it does keep going down, do I understand how to protect? I mentioned retirement insurance. Do I know what that is? Do I know how to use it? What do I do? How's that work? All right, now I want to show you something. Here is AMD. This is a microchip company. Maybe you've heard of this company. Maybe you haven't. But I'm going to do something quick to this chart here, like so. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to pop that on there like so. Okay. Now, if I do that, you'll notice it goes up to that line and back down, up to that line and back down, up to that line and back down. Guess what? Traders know how to spot that. They know how to spot it. They know how to exploit it, and they know how to trade it downwards. Whoa, what are you talking about? If the market keeps going down, there's a way I could make money when it's going down and it moves in a consistent pattern. All right. Let's go over here. This is happening right now. All right. Now watch. I'm going to grab my line and I'm going to start right here. Oh, let me do it again here. Got to let me grab the line here. Okay. All right. It goes down, hits the line, bounces back up, hits the line, bounces back up, hits the line, bounces back up. Wait, how do we do that? How did we find that? How did we notice that? What do we do with that? This is what traders learn to do. We're not guessing, everybody. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Let me take that off. We're not guessing. We're not just going to go out and throw spaghetti at the wall. There is, in fact, a learnable step-by-step skill set. It doesn't have to take all of our time. It doesn't have to be something where we just go and lose a bunch of money. You think traders go out there, just gamble and just lose all their money? Right? Have no way to protect what they're doing? Oh, they sure do. They sure do. Right? If the stock goes down enough, they know how to lose little and win big. Yeah, sure, they take some losses now and again, but they lose little. And when they win big. And over time, this works out in their favor. Oh, so you're saying there's kind of a method to the madness here. There's a skill And what if I learned that skill? What could I do? I tell people on the phone, everybody, I'll be candid with you. I talk to people and they're like, Blair, I want to learn more about the stock market. And I go, okay, well, what are you trying to do? Oh, I want to make money. I want to make some money. And I go, okay, everybody wants to make more money. Again, it doesn't mean we love money. This isn't about loving money. Okay. We all work for money. We have to use money. We're just looking at ways to use wisdom to steward and multiply. And the markets are a powerful multiplier. So that's the heart here. Okay. I just want to say that again. But they say, well, Blair, I want to make some money trading. I heard this market's, a lot of opportunity, but I figure I got to learn something on how to navigate that. Right. Okay. But what do you want to make that money for? What's it for? What are you trying to do? And what if this could be a part of that for you? Okay. Tanya says, run fast, right? If somebody tells you they know the future, run fast. Yeah, guys, it's the best news. We don't have to know the future. And if anybody can learn this, you can learn this, because I didn't even know what a 401k was. Now, I tell that story and, sometimes people are like, oh, wow, that means I can learn it too. But sometimes people are like, what? What's wrong with this guy? But that's true. That's actually true. I didn't know. I didn't grow up in a family where that was the kind of thing we talked about. We didn't talk about the stock market. We didn't talk about retirement. We didn't talk about investments. We didn't talk about salary even. We talked about how much a person makes an hour. It was extremely blue collar. I'm just telling you a little of my story to say, I didn't start in a family, in a community that understood how to trade in the stock market. And that made me afraid of it because I didn't know what it was. But when I met a trader who exposed me to what it really was, I realized for the first time, there is an opportunity here that I've never seen before. And I had spent several years out overseas on the mission field, Asia, Africa, Central America, living with some of the poorest of the poor. I saw a side of the kingdom, right? That was simplicity and poverty and generosity. And I came to a point where I personally believe the Father said, I'm going to show you the side of the kingdom, okay, that is multiplication and stewardship. It's not all one. It's not all the other. It's both. Paul says, I know how to abound. I know how to be abased. I can do all things. When he says all things, what is he talking about? What's the context? Provision. I can do a lot. I can do a little. I've personally been in both of those places. And it says that we do it by the strength of Christ. But we also need a vehicle. By the way, the parable of the talents, they traded. Now, they traded currency, but they did trade. Just a thought, all right? So what are the tariffs going to do? We don't know. Except that we know it's going to move money around. A lot of money is changing hands right now, folks. And a lot of money is going to keep changing hands. Well, Blair, I thought you were going to tell me what's going to happen tomorrow. I'll tell you what's going to happen on Monday, because tomorrow, for me, you might be watching this later, is Good Friday. It's closed. The market's closed tomorrow. Monday, volatility. That's what's going to happen on Monday. It's going to be volatility. And that means a lot of money is changing hands. And traders are going to be active because they know these 4 skills. You say, Blair, you keep talking about these 4 skills. What are these 4 skills? Well, guys, we have a class, okay? This is for traders who've traded, and you want to make sure you have all 4 of these skills. And this is for folks that are just starting. And you're saying, Blair, in the middle of all of this, maybe I've got my 401k, my IRA, my Roth IRA, my 403b, whatever it is you have, and you go, I want to learn how to protect that. I at least want to learn how to ask my financial advisor or my HR department some good questions. I just want to learn that. You mentioned retirement insurance. I want to know what that is. Nobody's ever told me that. What is that? How does that work? How do people trade the market on the way down? That seems crazy. How do we find good stocks even in this volatility like I just showed you on that screen? Nice, consistent, up moving stocks. Because by the way, I said Money isn't being destroyed. It's moving. Well, where's it moving? And if you knew where it was moving to, would that be a good place to trade? See, people try to do things and they don't get wisdom. It's not just about taking risk, guys. Traders don't just go take a bunch of scary risk. No, they see opportunity and then they add wisdom. There's wisdom that we need so we can navigate something. Listen, you could say, well, geez, driving sure is dangerous. Statistically, it's more dangerous than flying. But what do? We practice. We practice. We learn the rules of the road. We don't just let our kids go just drive a car whenever. We teach them. Is it risky? Well, it doesn't feel like it anymore. Why? Because we learned what to do. So don't shortchange yourself when it comes to your money and leave out what the world calls finance. There's a reason they call this finance. So if you say, well, I have some financial goals, right? I have some things I'd like to give away. I have some things I'd like to fund and do. I'd like to take some of my money, whether it's a little or a lot. You can start wherever you're at and say, I just want to learn these 4 things to protect what I have, to get ready if it keeps going down, to get ready after it goes down because it's going to come back up. It always has. And the best upward movement comes after the biggest crashes. So we preserve what we have. We can even profit on the way down if we learn, right? That's the potential. And then we can look to profit on the way up. It's about being ready, everybody, and knowing that trading isn't what Wall Street has said it is. And it's certainly not the hearsay secondhand from somebody who went out, didn't learn to trade, opened a brokerage account, lost some money, and then told everybody that trading doesn't work. Stealing the opportunity that we could have had. And we don't need to just go out and put a bunch of money in. No. Wisdom. So here at Tradeway, this is what we do. I told you, we've had tens of thousands of students, 2009. We've been around a long time. We're a licensed advisory firm with the SEC. We have licensed coaches. Okay. So we're not some ragtag rogue band of people on the internet, right? We teach you a step-by-step system in our 5-day Unlock the Stock Market Challenge. I'm not going to come on here and tell all this stuff about the tariffs, about the market, about money moving, and not connect the dots on, well, what can I do to empower myself? How can I equip myself? Right? That's what we want to do. So on your screen here, okay, you're going to see I've got the Unlock the Stock Market Challenge starts next Monday, April 21st to 25th. Myself and one of our other coaches, Dave Huber, we're going to give you 2 hours a day. That's 10 to 12 Central Standard Time. It's recorded. Some folks will attend live and some will watch the recording after hours because they say, well, I still got to work, but you know what? I'm going to watch that recording. I'm going to equip myself. And we're going to give you access to a messaging system, a community page that you can interact with Dave and I after you get off work, after hours. And if you're attending live, of course, you'll talk to us on the webinar, but you'll be able to interact with us after as well. We're going to teach you those 4 foundational things, right? We're going to show you what they are. And by the end of the week, we're going to go out and actually build some trades. We're going to show you how traders practice. We're going to show you what retirement insurance is. We're going to show you how to trade up, how to trade down. What are those 4 foundational skills? In the Unlock the Stock Market Challenge, I'm putting up the link right now. Okay. I'm going to also put that in the comments. Tradeway.com. You'll find all the info there. Okay. Tradeway.com/challenge. I'm putting it in the chat for everybody. It'll take a second to get there for my friends. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, everybody joining us tonight. It is $97, everybody. $97. Oop. Looks like it didn't go through to Facebook. So tradeway.com/challenge. Okay. $97, 10 hours of coaching. You can come on, you can ask questions. There is a VIP option in there as well. So you get a bit of a bump up. You're going to get some coaching from myself and Dave. Okay. $97. I told you somebody lost $100,000. They said, Blair, I didn't know. I just didn't know. They just said to leave it in. Tanya said, well, why didn't they just take the money out and go in cash? Because Financial advisors don't do that. They don't get paid if your money's in cash, right? Some do in certain circumstances, but that's not typical. They keep it invested. So you get those 10 hours of coaching. You're going to get a workbook. You're going to get activation exercises. We're going to look at real stocks, real trades. By the way, guys, if you get to the end of this thing and you say, well, that's just not what I thought it was, we'll go ahead. No questions asked. We'll give you your money back and we'll give you a parting gift. We're going to give you a course. But I am confident that you're going to love what we have to say if you're saying, I want to know what traders do. What are those 4 things I don't know? I don't want to trust Wall Street blindly. I want to know how you find those patterns up and down. I want to know how traders practice. What's some of the biblical wisdom that maybe people aren't telling me? Those are the kinds of things. If you say, yeah, I'd be interested in that, then the challenge is for you, right? You get to the end, I'm confident you're going to love it. It's going to be me in that class. It's not some other random person. You're going to spend some time with me. So I'm telling you right now, that's what the challenge is. And I'll see you in the challenge. And I'm feeling very confident because I've taught these challenges before. And I know what the responses are. And you'll actually see it. If you open that link on tradeway.com/challenge, you'll see quotes. They're real quotes from people who've been to the challenge. What if this is a pivot point for you in your finances such as you've never had before? What if the market crashes another 20% and you don't do this versus what might happen if you do? Now, what if the market doesn't crash? We don't know. I don't know that it's going to happen for sure. What if it just zooms up from here? What might you be able to do? And what if you don't know what to do? What if you just keep doing the exact same thing you've been doing? What if you choose not to do what tens of thousands of students who are learning to trade and protect and promote their money are already learning? And you get to spend 5 days, 2 hours a day, 10 hours of coaching with us, easy breezy, to learn the 4 foundational things that you can put into action by the end of the week. Now, that is pretty sweet. Okay. Low risk, no risk. Invest in yourself. Warren Buffett says, always invest in yourself because an investment in yourself pays the best interest. That's from one of the greatest investors of all time. Invest in yourself because when you invest in you, then what you do multiplies. Good input, good output. See, some people, they want better output. I really wish I could. I wish my money would. I really want the dollar to. I want to give to. I wish I could buy. I want to do. I want to quit. I want to start. But they're not giving themselves quality input. Here at Tradeway, we take a biblical perspective to partner with believers to say, here's some things you need to know that'll help you go somewhere you've never been able to go. Tradeway.com/challenge, April 21st through 25th. If you join us live, love to see you there. If I see you after hours, you're watching those recordings. Plenty of people have done that and they get a ton out of it. Then I'm happy to have you there too. But this is what we're going to do. We're moving forward. The tariffs are moving forward one way or the other. And the more of an impact it has on the economy, the more recession, I'm not going to say recession proof, but trading works whether the economy is going up or down. Now, that's not typical in most industries. That's security that we don't see in most industries, but we have to learn what to do. We can't just go out and wing it. Traders don't do that. So I'm saying, let's not do that either. Join me on the 21st through the 25th. You can click the link. Okay. My Facebook friends, it looks like it didn't. I'm going to try one more time while we're live on here, guys. Tradeway.com/challenge. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there again. It's already come over to YouTube, my friends on LinkedIn And you can just go straight to tradeway.com/challenge. All the information is right there. You can join the general session, $97 for the VIP, which means you're going to get some coaching with Dave and I right there for an extra $100. That's $100 for 10 hours with licensed financial advisors who know how to trade, who actively trade, and are going to be with you on the webinar to teach you those 4 foundational things. We're going to find some trades by the end of the week. Pretty sweet. I'm also going to show you how to avoid those fees. Remember I said 2% over 10, 20, 50 years? You don't actually have to pay that, but they don't want you to know that. If they tell you that, then how are they going to make any money? No, we're going to cover that as well. There's so much stuff. I'll go down 100 rabbit trails. Guys, it's been a good time with you tonight. Tariffs, turbulence, trading. What do we do? Invest in yourself. That's what you do. Because it's not about guessing the future. It's not about political interpretation. It's about you knowing what you are going to do. So join us in the challenge. We would love to have you there. Thank you so much, guys, and good night.